In today's video, I'm going to show you how to write a business letter and also what is the different formatting that is required for a business letter. We'll be explaining the format of the business letter now. So the letterhead must be 2 inches from the top of the page for the first page only. The subsequent pages after the first page, this measurement for the letterhead will be 1 inch. Then the date line must be 2 inches from the top of the page or one blank line below the letterhead. Then the inside address must be 2 to 7 blank lines, which is called a fill zone, after the date line. Now, sometimes when you type a business letter, if it is short, then you'll have a lot of space at the end, right? Which doesn't look good as a business letter. So this is where you would have a lot of space, maybe 7 blank lines, so that the letter doesn't have a lot of blank space below the printed name and title, right? However, if it is a long letter like what I have here and I want it on one page, you would have to use 2 blank lines in the fill zone so that it doesn't run over to 2 pages, right? So if I use 7 blank lines here in my letter, which is long, the complementary closing or the printed name might run over on page 2, right? So this is what we're saying right here. This is a fill zone, and depending on how if the letter is short or long, you would either use 2 to 7 blank lines, okay, between the date line and the inside address. All right. So after the inside address, which would include the person who is receiving the letter and the address for the organization that your letter will be going to, or they're going to send the letter to. You'll have one blank line between the last line for the inside address and the salutation. After the salutation, you need to have one blank line, right? And one blank line is required between paragraphs in the business letter, right? After the closing paragraph, you need to have one blank line between the complementary close and the closing. Then after the complementary close, you need to have 3 to 4 blank lines so that the person can sign their name using a pen for the signature. Then after the title, you need to have one blank line for the reference initials. If you have the reference initial, then you need to have one blank line. If you have CEC, which is for carbon copy or line copy, and you have an enclosure or attachment, then you need to have one blank line, right? So this is a format for the business letter, and for your SBA, this is a format for your merge letter and your fillable form. So if I was to zoom out, this is what it would look like. Right? This is a finished letter. This is what the finished letter would look like. Okay? This is a format of the finished business letter. So here at the top here, if we double click here, we can see the letterhead in the header. And if we click below, then we'll see the letter that we wrote. All right. So this is what the finished letter would look like. And then the document could be printed and the person would sign right here where the cursor is, and then submit the letter to the individual or the company to which it is intended for. What we'll be doing now, we'll be making our letterhead for our business letter. So the letterhead will be placed in the now. So the letterhead must be 2 inches from the top of the page for the first page only. We're going to hover the mouse up to the top section of the letter. I'm going to double click and here it says header, right? So what we're going to do now, we're going to come up to the tab which says design, right? And when we're looking here now, we see that this is in centimeters, right? So what we're gonna do, we'd have to change the measurements that we are seeing to centimeters. The measurements units would have to be changed from centimeters to inches if you want to do it that way. So we'll go to File. I'm gonna come down to Options. Then in the Word Options dialog box, you're going to come down and select Advanced. Then we're going to scroll down until we see Show Measurements in the Units Off. We're going to change this to indicate inches. And we're going to click with the left mouse button and click OK. All right, so when we come here now, it's now in inches, right? So I'm going to change this to, we need 2 inches from the top for the header for our logo on the first page only. I'm going to click backspace on the keyboard. I'm going to type 2 and then we're going to put the cursor behind the decimal point. I'm going to press delete on the keyboard twice. I'm going to type 0, 0, and then when we close the header and we click back in the header, we can see that the distance has been increased. Here I've opened my logo in Paint. So if you have a logo, you can open it in Paint, or you can make your logo in Paint. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press and hold the Control key. I'm going to press the A letter to select all. Then I'm going to go to Edit and I'm going to click Copy. Then I'm going to go to my Word document. What I'm going to do, in the header, I'm going to click on it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to right click, paste, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the cursor to in one of the corners. When I see the cursor change, I'm going to left click and hold the mouse and move it towards the top right hand corner of my screen. I'm going to resize it and then I'm going to move it in the header just like that. All right. Or the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to right click and then I'm going to go to wrap text and then I'm going to come down to square with text and then I'm going to come here now and I'm going to type the name of my company, CAD. If there's such a company, I'm just pretending, CAD with Mr. Hugh. I wanted to go closer to the logo, so I'm going to press the space bar. Alright, I'm gonna press enter. Then I'm gonna press the space bar. I'm gonna type the address. So I'm gonna pretend that I have an address. 5 New Town Street. Then I'm gonna type the city. Gonna pretend that it is Miami, comma. Gonna pretend that the state is Florida. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and we're going to put the telephone number. I'm going to pretend that I have a telephone number, colon, and the telephone number, we're going to pretend that it is that number, right? This should be capital L, sorry. All right, so this is how one way in which you could make a letterhead using Microsoft Word for your business letter. We have come to the end of today's video. In today's video, we looked at how to write a business letter, how to format a business letter, and also how to make a letterhead, and also what are the different components of the business letter. In the next video, we'll be looking at PowerPoint presentation. Please take care until then. Bye.
Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share.